Hey guys, how you doing? Ron Raymond here from the Ron Raymond Sports Betting Podcast. It is Monday, May 22nd. Hopefully you have yourself a good start to your Cash Out Monday. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner or hit the subscribe button below this video if you're using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by bullpenpicks.com. Sign up today, play for free, and follow the top scores each and every day right here at bullpenpicks.com. And you can see On Time 34 is our top score, 845 points. Art 55, Art Kent at 795, and yours truly, Ron Raymond, at 741. And we will be using the bullpenpicks.com to track our selections. But before we get to that, little brain tickler here today. And each time I do these videos, always trying to educate and just make you think about how you win today, right? How are you going to win today? And here's a top 10, I guess you can say head scratcher or things that make you think before you get those picks in today. And hopefully it can make you a better sports bettor today. And you know what? It's always good to have a checklist before you make your wagers to see, am I going into this with the right mindset? Did I do my checklist? Did I dot the I's, cross the T's, and making sure I got confidence in these selections? Number one, understanding basic math, right? It's essential to understand how the odds, the probability of winning, the percentage play, and the payouts work in sports betting, and understanding the math is not just, 2 + 2 = 4 type thing, right? It's understanding the market psychology, what the bookmakers are trying to tell you by putting a line. Like, there's a couple lines out here today that we're gonna make you think. Some of these -110, Toronto Blue Jays off, not having a good run. Basically almost close to pick 'em line against the top team in baseball. So we're going to understand the math in that respect, and probably the chances of winning, the percentage play. You hear me talk about all the time. What's the, teams can't win forever, they can't lose forever. And when they go through cycles, what's the math of them probably winning that next game? And that's where probability comes into play. Know the sport. The one thing Warren Buffett says all the time in stock investment is if you don't know what you're doing, don't invest in it, right? So if you know nothing about coal mining, well, you shouldn't be buying coal mining stocks or stuff like that. The more you know about the sport, the teams, the players, and their stats, the better informed you are as a sports bettor. And just watch games. The one thing, you just can't be a standings bettor and say, okay, you know what, Yankees and Tampa Bay are the top teams in the American League East, or Baltimore. You just can't watch those standings and say, because that team's in first place, we're going to bet them, right? Know what's going on. Every team goes through cycles, and we talk about that a long time. Long-term mindset. Remember, the success in sports betting isn't about one big game, one big win. It's about making a profit over the long run. And, it's everybody wants to hit a home run. No one wants to hit singles, right? There's nothing wrong with hitting singles in sports betting. That home run will come, and that's the difference between having that mindset. Like, people want the home run. They want to hit that 10-team parlay, that 7-team parlay. You know what? Win that over-under bet. Win that one selection, and that's a single, right? And then the single lead to a double, triple, and then you will get your home run in the long term. Manage your bankroll. Set a budget for your betting activities. Stick to it. Never bet more than you can afford to lose. And we talk about it all the time here in the Raymond Report. It's about proper money management and discipline. You got to be disciplined when you're betting on sports. Avoiding betting bias, right? Don't let personal bias influence your betting decision. Don't bet with your heart, bet with your wallet. Bet based on stats, analytics, not only on which team you prefer, right? The days of betting on my favorite team, unless you're if you like the Blue Jays, or you like Tampa Bay, or you like the Yankees, and you're betting with because you grew up and that's your team, that's not a way how to make money, right? That's fan interest. Understand betting markets. Get to know different types of bets and when to use them. Not all betting markets are created equally, right? With all the niche markets out there in the sports betting world, all the props, the in-game betting, stick to what you do best, right? Understand those markets. Understand that if you are betting, say, props or first 5 innings, go in with a game plan and just don't go in with a gut reaction. Understand, record keeping, yeah. So one of my best things that I use is bullpenpicks.com to track my records in selections. And you can see yesterday, kind of day that I have yesterday was a 7-8 day. Not a great day. You can see Ken Driver. So 7-8, not too bad. Still not a winning day. But when I look at my last 100 days, so I can see a 47, 48, and then I'm 48-5, 53% the last 100. So you got to track your streaks, right? If I know I'm in a neutral market with my betting, then I'm going to be a little bit more conservative with my units. Well, when I'm hot, then a little bit, maybe a little bit more. Stay disciplined, just like I just talked about. Use trusted source, things like the Raymond Report. Wherever you get your information, make sure you can trust that source and continue learning. That's why you watch the show, right? One of my main objectives by doing these videos is to educate the new person who comes in, so that way they know betting 101 type rules and things to do and stay away from. And hopefully we're helping them with those techniques on how to get better as a sports bettor and how to avoid those pitfalls, right? Don't get, last thing you want to do is like, why didn't I see that? How come I didn't know that about that? You don't want to be in that type of situation, right? All right, let's get on with the SBI, the Sports Betting Index. And you can see yesterday, we talked about this yesterday in the video that I said I'm waiting for the favorites to go on a run. Well, sure enough, it's happening. 13-3, 8-6, 9-6. It was a favorite weekend. So the favorites now on the 7-day average, 54.7, 57.8 on the season. On the 3-day average, 66. So I'm continuing to see, I'm expecting to see more favorites cash in the next few days. All right, let's get to today's selections. And let's go to the make picks. Again, bullpenpicks.com. Go make your picks each and every day and follow the top pickers. Game number 1, Chicago White Sox taking on Cleveland. And looking at the starting pitchers for the Chicago White Sox. Now, the thing is, you got to keep an eye on the pitching matchups, right? I'm seeing Jesse Scholtens against Hunter Gaddis. And looking at the White Sox, they've been on a good run. They've been bullish now for the last 2 days. And they're 8-6 in their last 14 games, 4-9-1 to the under. Cleveland having a good, 5-8 in a bearish cycle. But the good news is for Cleveland, they are now at home. In fact, let me go to the Raymond Report and let me go look at the Cleveland weekend to see how their weekend was. And for the Cleveland Guardians, they're 5-8 in their last 14, 5-6-2. They're 9-12 at home. And over the weekend, you can see the Guardians. They played the New York Mets, lost 2-1 last night, 5-4 in the afternoon, and then they had a couple of rain out, right? So you can see they've been on the road since the 16th of May. They played the White Sox, so not a really great run here for the Cleveland Guardians. But the good news is they're back at home, and that's why I'm going to take them. I'm gonna take a little bit of a flyer here, and the line's telling you something too, right? I had this line at -170, and the Guardians are 125. And, be careful. Even though the White Sox have been on a great roll, they are still a C-type team. And you know what I think about C-type teams, right? They're like an old high school sweetheart. They're going to break your heart. So I'm going to go 54% on the Guardians, and we'll leave it at that. Texas against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now the Bucks 4-8 in their last 12 games right here. So the last 2 weeks, Texas 10-4. Texas has been a great team all year. Dane Dunning having a phenomenal season. In fact, when I look at Dunning's stats this morning, 4-0, 1.69 ERA. Yeah, let's go in the 60s for Dunning in Texas. 68%. Bucks, they started the year, but more of a sinking ship these days. Jordan Montgomery going to get the nod here for the Cardinals up against Brandon Williamson of the Cincinnati Reds. And St. Louis, again, one of the hot teams right now in Major League Baseball, 11-3. It was just a matter of time before St. Louis would get on the roll, right? With the history they have. And so I expect them to do well tonight against Cincinnati. I'm going to go 56%. Arizona against Philadelphia. Now, looking at this game, I was really took a lot of time on this game, actually. Tommy Henry going up against Zach Wheeler. Arizona 8-6, and you know what? I'm going to go Arizona. I've been on this bandwagon since the beginning of the year. If you recall, at the beginning of the year, I talked about their starting pitching. I thought it was really underrated. Obviously, Madison Bumgarner didn't work out, but you know what? I'm going to go Arizona here, and if you're really not feeling safe with them on the road, maybe you buy that Geico insurance, take them plus 1.5, but I'm going to go Arizona 56%, and check this out. Against C-type teams, let me go to my strength of schedule database, which I have right here. Let's go Arizona. We'll go here against C-type teams. Check out their record. 15-9. Pretty good. 15-9 against those C-type teams. And Philadelphia, again, just like the Chicago White Sox, a C-type team, right? Can you trust Philadelphia right now? Even though they're at home, I'm going to go Arizona. And again, if you don't feel that great about it, take the run line. This is the head scratcher game of the day, right? You got the Toronto Blue Jays, awful weekend. Let's be honest, they had an awful weekend against Baltimore. Baltimore doesn't get enough respect, I find. They're in that American League East, and they're always stuck behind the Rays and the Yankees for the media attention. But Baltimore is just they are who we thought they were, right? And right now, Baltimore, yeah, they are this just in. They're a pretty good team. And looking at the weekend for the Blue Jays, they're on a 4-game losing streak. And in fact, they had the Yankees prior to the Orioles. They're probably just bad news for the Blue Jays. They go from one American League East team to the other, and now they got to go against the best team in the division. Having said all that, hey, on the other hand, having said all that, and you can see that Trevor Kelly is going up against Chris Bassett. Bassett's been the shining light really for the Toronto Blue Jays. In fact, when you look at his numbers, 5-2, 3.05 ERA, and I'm seeing Josh Fleming also might be the starter. So check out, there's a little bit of conflict this morning on Trevor Kelly or Josh Fleming, the lefty. But I'm going to go with Toronto. You know what? I think the best thing for the Blue Jays right now is get out of Toronto, get out of Dodge, get on the road, get some team bonding going. You got one of your best starters going tonight. And but the bad news is you're up against Tampa Bay. But again, if you can get Toronto plus 1.5, that's where I would lean tonight. LA Dodgers taking on the Atlanta Braves, the game of the night. This is the game of the night. Gavin Stone against the old vet Charlie Morton. And looking at this game, Toronto, still stuck on Toronto here. The LA Dodgers, looking at their last 2 weeks, 9-5 straight up. They are currently not having a great run against B-type teams and A-type teams, so they can beat the beatables. You know, they're 10-9 against the B-type teams, 15-4 against those C-type teams. But when the Dodgers face an opponent just as good as they are, those A-type teams, they're not as good. 4-6. I'm going to take the veteran here. I'm going to go with Charlie Morton against Gavin Stone. Give me 56% on the Braves. Kansas City, Detroit, two teams that really, when you look at it, C-type teams, and looking at their records the last couple of weeks, 5-7 for Detroit, 6-8 for Kansas City. Kansas City 6-17 at home, not a really good home record. Bearish 3 days, and when you look at the C-type records, believe it or not, Detroit 9-6 against C-type teams. Kansas City 10-9. I think the home team makes a difference here tonight. I'm going to go Kansas City, not that much, 56%. Milwaukee taking on the Houston Astros, and you got Christian Javier against Corbin Burns. Great pitcher matchup right there. And looking at the Stros, hot team right now. Bullish 7 days against neutral 7 days in Milwaukee. Milwaukee got one win yesterday in Tampa Bay. In fact, let's go take a look at Milwaukee's last the weekend edition, how they did against Tampa Bay. And they were able to get that. Let me see here. Well, 6-4. Yeah, that was a 6-4 win for the Tampa Bay yesterday. But let me just bring up their stats. All right, Milwaukee over the weekend. You can see here. Okay. So 6-4, 8-4, 1-0, and so they didn't get one win against Tampa Bay. For some reason, I thought they had one win, but maybe not. So yeah, they're struggling, as Joe Namath would say. And I'm gonna go look at. I'm gonna take. Having said all that, I'm gonna go with the hotter team right here, and I'm gonna go with Houston, who is 10-3, while Houston is Milwaukee 7-6 the last. But you know what? 55%. Corbin Burns, got to give him a little bit of respect. I'm gonna go Houston here. A little chalky, but it looks like we're going back into a bullish market for the favorites, right? San Fran taking on Minnesota. Bailey Ober up against John Brebbia for the San Francisco Giants. Now the Giants 7-7 the last 2 weeks, 6-7 Minnesota. And looking at the Twins, they had a rough outing on the weekend, right? And on the West Coast, they went 2-4 against the Dodgers in LA. But the good news is they're back at home, where they're 14-8 straight up. Whereas San Fran, bit of a Jekyll and Hyde, 15-11 at home, 7-13 on the road. I'm going to go with Bailey Ober here. Not a strong one, 54%. Miami, Colorado. I'm going to go with Colorado here, and I'll tell you why. Cabrera, really good at home, not good on the road. 0-3, 6.64 ERA, and the worst part for a pitcher struggling on the road to go is Coors Field. So yeah, give me Miami. Boston against the Halos. I'm gonna go with the Halos here, who are 6-8 in the last 2 weeks. Boston 5-7, two B-type teams, and both these teams, similar records against the Bees. But I'm gonna go with home cooking here. I'm gonna go with Anaheim. Not that much though. I'm gonna go 54%, and I'm gonna go Luis Castillo. And I don't think I have to tell you why. 60, it's probably my strongest play. We'll go 70%. Seattle, and there we go. And you can see, you can follow other pickers. So some of the guys that I follow, you can see Art55 and On Time, the leader right now. So we all agree on Cleveland. So on times on Detroit, we're both on KC. We're all on Texas. We're all on St. Louis. I'm the only one in Arizona. I'm the only one on Toronto. Atlanta, we're all together. Houston, so R55 is on Atlanta. You can see Houston, Milwaukee, Art's on Milwaukee. A little contrarian day for Art here. Minnesota, we're all on Minnesota. Colorado, I don't believe in Cabrera on the road in Coors Field. So, and then we're all in agreement on the Halos and the Mariners. My top 3 plays today: Seattle, Texas, the Blue Jays. You maybe if you're looking at consensus plays, Seattle, St. Louis, Halos. Seattle, Chicago, Minnesota. So Seattle, obviously minus 300. I don't have to explain that, right? All right. Another thing you guys can look at too at the Raymond Report is the stats and trends, the 8% club. I thought I'd go through a couple of these today because some of them are pretty good. The Rays, 26-3 as a home team, coming off a game where they scored 4 runs for the last 3 years, which goes against my Blue Jay pick here today. The Guardians, which I like, 12-2 as a home team, coming off a loss against a National League East opponent like the Mets the last 10 years. So after playing the National League East opponent at home, they're 12-2, only 12 occurrences the last 12 years. So think about that. If you like the under, this is probably your over-under game of the day. The Royals as a home team, coming off a game where they allowed 5 runs against the last 2 years, 22-4 to the under. So keep an eye out on that. The report card, you can get the report card here at the website. And we'll leave you with our top 3 sports betting options today. Number 3, Colorado against Miami. Detroit over Kansas City. And Tampa Bay is your top 3 sports betting options. And the way you get the betting options, you go to your dashboard. Once you go to your dashboard, look for top 25 sports betting option. These are not picks. These are the teams that are in the best handicapping situation, best cycle. And then you got to go find your indicators to see if you got a really good play. And Tampa Bay, your number 1 sports betting option. But I'm going to go Bassett. I think Bassett is the play here today. And the line is telling you, right at the beginning, remember we talked about the math? Remember we said understanding basic math. And again, not 2.2. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Okay? In some cases, my math equals to 5, but that's a story for another day. But the probability, right? We're thinking about the percentage play. Understand that, when you look at a team like Tampa Bay and you see their home record 21-4, that's not going to continue forever. So when you look at a situational handicapping, that's not going to finish 42-8, right? No, there's going to get some hiccups, but understand who they play. That's why the strength of schedule comes into play. Go look who they played the last 7, 10, 14 days. And we do have if you go to the website, we do have a strength of schedule board. In fact, when you go here, and I was looking at this morning, and you got to scroll down to Major League Baseball, and we'll take a look at Tampa Bay. So let's go take a look. There's the NBA, but there's Major League Baseball. Where's Tampa? All right, so you see Tampa Bay right here. Strength of schedule so far, and we go through the columns right here. The win, loss, the strength of schedule. So the last ones are strength of schedule. So overall in the season, Tampa Bay strength of schedule. Remember at the beginning of the year, we kept telling them, play somebody, will you? But they played some people. 49.4, and you look at the other teams, 52. You got 48. So basically, they're all close to 50, right? But if you look at the last 7 games, 61.2 and 64 the last 14 days. So Tampa Bay coming in battle tested. What's Toronto? Toronto must be high too because they played the Yankees and they played so 79 and 58 last 14 days. But the last that's the Yankees and Baltimore right there. Strength of schedule coming into Tampa, battle tested. So the they're going to be ready for this one. Again, if you want to check out the top 10 things to help you win at sports betting today, win the day. That's the theme of the day today. We're going to win the day. Come and check it out, right? Understand basic math, know the sport, long-term mindset, manage your bankroll, avoiding betting bias. Get rid of your favorite team bias. Bet with your wallet, not your heart. Understanding betting markets, record keeping. Go to bullpen picks. Stay disciplined. Use trusted sources and continuous learning. That's what I love. You got to keep learning each and every day. All right, there you have it. If you enjoyed the show today, hit that like button. Always appreciate when you hit the like. And watch the Ron Raymond Sports Betting Podcast live edition Tuesdays and Thursdays right here on our YouTube channel. And if you want to get my picks each and every day, mine or Ross Benjamin, you can go right here at atsstats.com. Look for Ron and Ross. In fact, I had a pretty good weekend. Not a great Friday, but a pretty good weekend. I know Saturday was a really good day. I think I'm 10-3 in the last 13 selections right here. So pretty good. And you can follow me each and every day right here at atsstats.com. Cheers.